And I mean, it's just remarkable. But on that note,
Mm.
and I want to ask you this question because you study it, you know it. South Africa, obviously, we're talking about the Rugby Championship, Europe, how things are going on. Do you think, or what's your personal opinion on South Africa and the whole talk of leaving Super Rugby and Rugby Championship to go overseas? Do you think it's viable? Do you think it could happen? And yeah, is it something that should or shouldn't happen in your opinion?
I think it's really interesting. And I think, there's been a lot of talk over, does rugby move away from being hemisphere based and being time zone based, which obviously, as we can say now, the fact that we're only an hour apart, it's the same.
Yes.
It's a very similar time zone, which is also great for the Lions next year because it means we're not getting up at like 9 a.m. to watch every game. It's easier to be pumped for a game at 3 p.m. than it is for a game at 9 a.m. where you're kind of setting your alarm half an hour beforehand. And so I think that's kind of the core argument. And obviously the Super Rugby being so badly affected by coronavirus and everything that's happened lately, obviously stuff with the Jaguares in the last few days, which is a huge shame.
Big time. I agree.
Yeah, it becomes a case of there's already 2 South African teams in the Pro14, and they've worked far better than I think I expect them to. I think a lot of people expect them to. And I think because they've managed the schedule really carefully and they've made sure that they're not flying back and forth every week, as happened with the Jaguares and Super Rugby. It meant they were just permanently jet lagged. That they've made sure that actually, when a Welsh or Irish or Scottish team has gone over to South Africa, they played both of the games quite close together, like consecutively. They played the Kings and the Cheetahs. And they've likewise made sure that, the Cheetahs haven't been flying out and then flying back to Cardiff in 1 week. They've been staying around and playing the Dragons and going up to Glasgow, which is only, an hour's flight. So they've got to be careful with how they do that. And I think actually adding more South African teams to the Pro14 would help that. It would mean it's more viable. You can always just add an extra conference that becomes the South African conference and is most heavily focused on there. It's for people far smarter and better at this to decide than me. But I could see it working in a way. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, before when it was the Pro 12 rather than Pro 14, I wouldn't have felt so. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where it's going. Also,